I think this is the longest shot in the movie.
What's going on?
Oh, we had to send Riz and Eleanor home for not following the rules.
Which rule?
Number 9.
Beware of wildlife?
No. The one about not attending chapel.
Speaking of wildlife, we were filming the scene. It was quite late. And we had, movie lights and stuff around. There's people everywhere. All of a sudden, this, enormous coyote just casually, strolls through the scene. And everyone's like, oh, my God, look at him. And so we just, waited, and he carried on his way. And then we resumed filming.
Well, it's just you two now. So.
That's odd.
That's okay.
We can still have fun. Just the two.
So this is kind of something, and Elizabeth even brought it up, when she first read the script, was she's like, Mildred seems kind of dumb in this one. It was in the first one, she didn't seem stupid. And I was like, yeah, I see your point, but I'm at the same time, she kind of has to be, or the story doesn't work. Most people would not fall this hard for this obvious scam. So we kind of justified it, which I think makes sense, that once she kind of got the murder out of her system in the first movie, when she kind of took revenge, she just kind of felt better. So all of a sudden she returned to her naive self. This is more what she would be like. She'd be friendly and trusting if she wasn't constantly tormented about her nose. So this is kind of the real Mildred, where she's not really dumb. She's just so innocent and naive that she assumes the best in everyone, and she's able to fall for it. Where obviously Becky here is more, more street smart. She's not as trusting, and she's seen some shit in her life, and so she's able to pick up on, hey, something's definitely going on here. Whereas Mildred's just having fun, and she doesn't stop to think that maybe people aren't being truthful to her.
Of us.
So if you look in the background, you can see Lyle, the lifeguard, sitting here. And then you have Kit and Foster, this guy and her on either side of him. As you'll see later, they're the ones that took the canoe out where Mildred kills them. And then Lyle's mad that they left the canoe out there. So basically in this scene, we staged it, even though most people are going to miss it. They're basically here trying to convince him, hey, could we take the canoe out later? And they're trying to convince him, hey, we'll be responsible and everything. And that's why he's so mad later. And he's like, those idiots left the canoe and they didn't even tie it up. So that's just another subtle thing that's happening in the background.
You're not eating?
Nah, not feeling well.
And so this is kind of obviously Becky's way of proving that they're being drugged. Because she's like, it feels like I'm drugged somehow, right? She's basically high. So she's like, the next day, if I don't eat and everyone else gets high, but I don't have the same feeling, then I'll know that there's something in the food.
Well, maybe a big hug will make you feel better.
Now, I remember this scene was kind of a problem because all of a sudden Cornelius is frantic and he's trying to get rid of the evidence, but we didn't see anything happen. And even while we were in post-production, we were some people on the team really wanted to go shoot another scene where something happened or somehow we explained what happened. And we even tried, I think we recorded some just extra dialogue here to happen from Clobel to explain why he's like this, and it didn't work. So my theory is basically something happened, we just didn't see it, but he's just paranoid that someone's snooping around. Maybe he just kind of heard word that there's a reporter looking around, and he doesn't want to get caught with all this evidence.
Veronica sent me to see you? Yeah. Hold on. Here, I need you to get rid of this.
It's all the crap people wanted me to pray about. Get the idiots, haul this out to the camp, burn it, bury it, I don't care. Just get rid of it.
And it's kind of based on a true story. I heard, like, it was probably like in the 80s or something, that some like scammy church was doing that, where they're like, send us a picture of like your loved one that's that's sick or whatever in the hospital, and I'll pray over it, and send us a check for $500 or what, send us whatever money you can. So people did that, and of course what they would do is they would just get the envelope, take the money out, and then throw the letter and the pictures in the garbage. And then some reporter who was like onto them went to their dumpster and found a garbage bag full of just like all the torn up pictures and everything, and then that's how they were exposed. So that's kind of where I got this whole idea, is that's kind of how it happens here.
You got it, Mr. Spretzer.
The T-Rex was a witch's hex, and if you believe that, grab your...
So in the script, I think I had it. I'm pretty sure I had it. They were doing a cheesy rap or something like that. I just hadn't written it. And as we were getting closer to filming, I'm pretty sure Nick wrote the guy singing the rapping here. He wrote this rap himself as he was like flying here from Ottawa. So he showed Julie or someone the lyrics, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's hilarious." So he did that, and then I just had our composer Kaylee write something to fit the beat. But of course, he's rapping here with no music, and it wasn't quite on time, so that's why it doesn't quite line up. But that's kind of the whole joke, is that he's pretty terrible at it.
So facts. Now say with me and pray with me. Jesus is the one that saves me.
And I'm pretty sure the girls like made up, the three of them basically made up their own dance moves and everything, and then they like performed them for me before we filmed, and I'm like, yeah, works for me.
Oh, Jurassic Park more like Judas Park. And if you feel scared, hop on Noah's Ark. Oh, now when I say science, you say Satan. Science, Satan, science, Satan, science, Satan. Woo!
I remember it was so freaking hot in this room, like it was brutal. And it's funny, this girl, you kind of see half of her face there. She was like Japanese, and she had a friend. I don't know, I think Sam Howe found them somewhere. I don't know how they found them, but they didn't speak English. They only spoke Japanese. And luckily, Elena, our Russian actor, she actually grew up in Japan, so she spoke fluent Japanese. So we're like, Elena, go talk to them. And they were just so thrilled that someone could speak their language.
I get some fresh air before I puke.
So this here was filmed at that location I mentioned earlier, where Ronald here was petting the goat. This was that same area that we just basically filmed there like all night. And there was bugs everywhere, it was like mosquitoes, and it was so dark. There was a bathroom there somewhere, but we couldn't find it because it was so dark. Like Julie and I drove out here like a week or 2 or 3 or sometime before shooting to scout this location. And there was like a porta potty kind of place. Like there was a bathroom that we saw, but all of a sudden we went and couldn't find it because it was just so pitch black everywhere. So it was kind of hard to get around. But that's where we filmed this part.
That's that.
So Ronald just finished burying that bag of pictures and letters, that evidence that Clobell brought out.
Thanks for all the help, guys.
Yeah, and I guess I forgot that we cut that scene. Like we did film a scene which shows them pull up, and then they all get out of the car, and then they grab the bag out of the back. But I think that was one of the things we chose to cut. I like this here too, how she just like threatens them to punch him and makes him flinch.
Hey, Clobell, can we go get some of that whole stuff from the kitchen?
Not a chance. Last thing we need is you getting high.
So yeah, that dialogue was added in later. I think it was Julie came to me and she's like, "How would like we have the reporter here, Becky, saw that they just buried something, so she goes and digs it up. So that's how she exposes them. But it's like, how would she make the connection that people were being drugged? And it's like, what if she overhears them talking about it? So we just had those actors like read, Chris and Jason read that dialogue, and we added it in afterwards. And that's how she knows to go look for the drugs.
Guess I'm getting my hands dirty.
Thank you, Lord, for giving us so many new faces and a lot of familiar faces here today that we are so thankful for. We're so happy that
It's kind of funny too, like Nick, just for, he wrote that rap himself. He performed it. He's just like a funny, outgoing actor. He had a real problem with making up this prayer. I just kind of assumed he could do it. So I was like, he's like, what do I say? Because I didn't write dialogue for it. I just had that they're praying. And I was like, I don't know, just make up some kind of prayer. And he really struggled with it. I can't remember if he did all this or if I had to like write something or kind of give him some ideas, but it's just kind of funny that that was outside his area of expertise.
they joined our new flock. And in the spirit of giving, they understand that charity is one of the best virtues that we can have.
So here we have Bettina's finally realizing that, hey, wait a minute, Becky's missing.
Giving and giving. We always want to keep giving to the less fortunate, and we thank you so much for...
I'm not lying, Mildred. Why don't you believe me?
The Spretzers are good people. I've never been this happy before.
That's because you're high. Look at your pupils.
Wild.
Mildred! Pay attention. The reason everyone feels so good and keeps coming back is because they're being drugged. The Spretzers are putting shit in our food. That's why I'm not feeling it. I didn't eat today, remember? I'm a reporter. I've been following them for 3 years.
But they prayed for me to find peace over Felix's death. They helped me.
You want to know how much they care about you and Felix?
So originally, yeah, this is another scene that was much longer. There was more dialogue. And there was a whole end part where after Becky shows Mildred the garbage bag, she still didn't believe her. So Becky grabs a tape recorder. It's like a boom box. And I think you could see it here. It's behind the bag, but I think you could see it when she moves the bag. And she plays a tape recording of that she took of basically Veronica and Cornelius talking about their plan and basically making fun of Mildred and stuff. But we cut that part just because it was too long, and we had it that Mildred was just convinced after seeing the garbage. Yeah, you can see the boombox right there.
We've got people's
So yeah, that whole bag is full of like real letters that Elena wrote, which is like just incredible detail.
personal letters and photos. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so that's the picture we've seen before. We saw Eureka, Cindy, writing loser and ugly bitch on there. And those are like cigarette burns. There was originally going to be a scene where I think it was Cornelius was like smoking a cigar or something. And he was like ashing it on the picture, and somehow like he put the cigar down and burned it. It was something like that, but we ended up cutting that scene. But we kept the cigar burn or the cigarette burns that just got on there somehow. Aw, poor Mildred.
Let's go talk to the Spretzers.
So this is the very first thing that we filmed with the Spretzers. And I'm pretty sure I didn't know up until like the minute I saw him, I didn't know that they were going to give Ronald this cowboy motif. I was kind of like, oh, okay, that works. But yeah, it gives him an interesting look.
Spretzers are listening. What you two have done is not very godly like. Cindy?
So yeah, this punch here, it doesn't sell that well. It's not the actor's fault. But I think we had one that looked better, but somehow the shot, we couldn't use the better version for some reason. And this was the only one that like, the best one that worked. So I just sped it up a little bit, like at the moment of the punch, to hide the fact that it doesn't look like it's connecting. Like sometimes I wish we just didn't, like we had more money and time and we could just not have to rush everything and we could have just done it again. But I mean, it sells. So I mean, or it's like, it's good enough.
Trust me, I'm the last person in the world you want to make angry.
I'll take that into consideration.
So James Hastings, our director of photography, Hastings was our DP for the camp scene. He made this taser gun prop himself. And then we just had some like fishing wire. It's kind of hard to see, but there if you look, there's like 2 wires that are like attached to this.
Why buy from greedy corporations who only care about money? Here at Spretzer Christian.
And I'm glad we could find this camera, even though it's a pretty old model, but I wanted something that just looked better. Like, it's like nowadays you probably just use your phone, but it doesn't have the same look. I just wanted like some kind of cheap consumer grade camera, but it looks like it's, you know, at least a couple decades old, but it works for the scene.
Ministries, we're more than happy to provide everything you need. We are proud to announce our line of Spretzer brand maxi pads and foam beer cozy.
And it's kind of disappointing. We only have the one foam beer cozy there, the purple one, but I think it was Caitlin that made them. Like, there's a whole like every color of them. There's a picture out there somewhere. Maybe I'll upload it to Facebook or Instagram. But yeah, there was like a whole row of beers with all those different colors, and we ended up only using the one.
With the Lord's help, we can do anything.
Why do you have to smile like that? You look like a fucking creep.
I have a great smile. Yeah.
So this part here kind of caused some problems, mainly just my own. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but just the fact that I noticed it. But it's like Cornelius just answered the phone and said hello. So Clobel here, who's calling him, should have the phone up to his ear, ready to talk to him, as you normally do when you call someone. But the way we staged this shot that we shot like much earlier, Clobel has the phone at his side and he brings it up to his ear, which I told him to do, so it's totally my fault. But I'm like, wait a minute, it doesn't quite make sense. So we were going to add in Cornelius being like, hello, that you hear at this point. But then I was like, you know what, let's just keep it like that, and no one's ever mentioned it. So maybe I'm the only one that it bothers.
Cornelius, we have a problem.
Okay. We're on our way. Trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Clobel caught 2 traitors at the camp.
Let's go.
So yeah, this was kind of a disappointing part. We originally were going to film this out at the same location, the goat place where we were filming the other stuff. And it would have been perfect too. It would have been the last scene of the night. And it was like a blood moon, or whatever you call it. It was like a red moon. And just the way, like, the area we were going to film it, and the way that there was like a parting in the trees and the moon was like right in between there. And it just looked so cool. But it was like 2 a.m. by that point, and everyone was tired, and the grass was wet, and Becky and Mildred would have been laying, like Elizabeth and Jessica would have been laying on the wet grass. And they were like, it's friggin' freezing cold. And so we're like, was there a way we could do it faster? Or could we like warm them up in between takes? And then we finally realized, like, damn it, like there's just no way to make it work. Because if we warm them up in between takes, like, it just means it would have just taken longer to film, which would have defeated the whole purpose. So we're like, you know what, let's just pull the plug. We'll all go home tonight and then figure out how to film the scene later. So eventually we're like, okay, maybe we could just go and film it like indoors somewhere. So we ended up filming it in Katrina Kunkel's garage. She's the one that plays the camp counselor. And it's actually, she's super nice. The end of the movie, she let us film that part, the digging part, as you'll see, in her backyard. And in Grotesque 1, we filmed the scene where Elizabeth's driving with Danger Dan. We filmed that in this very same garage, just surrounded by green screen. So it's not as good. It would have looked so much cooler happening outside with the blood moon and all that, but it wasn't meant to be, so we just had to shoot it in this garage and whatever. People don't know what it was supposed to be, so it works well enough. And I like Julie's costume here. She looks like a Bond villain or something.
Who is it?
Becky Anderson and Mildred Meyer.
And why the hell did you bring them here?
Claudel said to get him out of the camp?
What should we do with them?
Kill them.
There's also some confusion over, like, is this at the camp or is this somewhere else? So it's kind of like we determined that this is just like a building that they owned that's somewhere reasonably close to the camp.
Aww.
But as you'll see later, like, when Mildred gets dumped off, like, she has to walk back to the camp, so it's at least a little distance.
What should we do with?
However you want. Just wait until Cornelius and I are gone. We don't want to know. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, you got it, Ma.
Take care of them and destroy the evidence before you come back to the church.
I just want to do one thing before we leave.
So I think, yeah, Veronica just really wanted to kick Becky because ever since the sock hop where she saw Becky, like, glaring at her, she just, like, had it in for Becky.
Hey, look at us! Having fun together as a family. We haven't done this in ages.
Okay, fun's over.
You two can take care of this?
Yeah.
Of course.
Good.
So yeah, this part here, we kept the you dig, but there was a lot more back and forth between them that I alluded to earlier, where he's basically accusing her of, like, it's like, you like sleep with absolutely everyone. Then he starts listing all these guys, and then he mentions Addie, and she's like, no, I'd never fucked Addie. And then he's like, maybe I'll tell mom and dad. And then she's like, if you do, I'll tell mom that I caught you, like, stealing her underwear or something. Like, they had a lot basically showing that they're both kind of like huge pervs, but it was just too long, so I just cut it all except for the fighting over the shovel.
Here. I already dug a hole today.
You dig.
You dig.
You dig. You dig.
You dig.
You dig.
You dig.
You.
You.
You dig.
You dig.
You're doing it, you brain dead perv. You can hitchhike back to church.
You're not leaving me. I'm your brother.
So this is funny here. It wasn't so easy here to do this scene, and of course he smacks Mildred's face with that, but you could tell it's just it was like a fake head that was like hard plastic inside the bag. And then this scene here, it would have been nice to have blood, but we were just too rushed and couldn't do it. But it was like a composite shot where we just had her lay there, and then we had her move out of the way, and then we had just the fake head there, and then he slices it with the shovel and then kicks it, and then we just combined the two shots.
Not digging another fucking hole.
So this we were filming just on Jasper Ave and like 95th Street or 90th Street, right around that area of Edmonton. And there's actually, you could see like high-rise apartment buildings here in the background in this shot, and we just had to paint them out. And funny enough, like, I used to live when I first started making movies back like kind of 2015. Or making movies for real. I lived in one of those high-rise buildings, so you could see the building right there. So this is supposed to be out at a lake, but it's actually like downtown. And there was like a homeless encampment like right next to where we were filming, so there was like some kind of shady people there, and I was kind of keeping an eye on them, but they didn't disturb us. So this is actually kind of a real cliff here. So we're like, we have to like tilt up or something before we get too close, because we didn't want to roll them down this hill.
Gather everyone around the fire. Try and look sad.
I don't know why Lyle's making that weird face there, but it's hilarious.
terrible news. 2 members died tonight. Becky Anderson and Mildred Mayer. They turned their backs against the church.
So some people were asking, like, why would the bad people be crying? I guess it could either be that they're pretending, or it could also be like they're not so horrible that they like want people to die. So they could still have some bit of humanity left, that they're upset over the deaths.
And they went into the forest to worship Satan. And they both fell down a cliff and died. If anyone needs any one-on-one support, we'll be offering that for only $5.99 a minute. Let's take hands, bow our heads, say a prayer for Becky and for Mildred. Let's party!
So yeah, this scene here was quite fun. The song is perfect. It was written and performed by our composer. Actually, I don't know if she wrote it. Like our composer, Kaylee Lambert. I'm pretty sure that's her voice in the song. I could be wrong though. But I think it was like a friend of hers had written this song and recorded it, and got permission for us to use it in here, and it's perfect. Because originally I thought there was going to be some music here, but I didn't know it was going to be like a hip hop kind of sounding song. I just didn't have any ideas, and in my mind maybe I was like, I don't know if that would have worked. But now that after I heard it, I was like, oh my god, this is like the perfect song for this. Music on my Walkman, tipsy when I'm walking, gotta get together and make the room spin round like a record, baby. So yeah, I wanted to just show, kind of to reflect their personality, how they're like kind of evil but also kind of innocent. That, you know, it's like they're drinking and doing blow and all this stuff, but they're also just doing these like very innocent type games, like playing with the Simple Simon thing and playing Twister and I think just gonna back it up a second here. That crucifix belongs to Caitlin Varon, our art department person, and she was very protective of it because apparently it's like an exorcism kit, so you could like slide it open and there's like a vial of like holy water and some other stuff in there. So that was pretty cool. And then we desecrated by pretending to do cocaine off of it. But that same one, it might have been used in Horror Show. I think you see it in Horror Show at a certain point. Lacey's in the spandex, trying to get where Brooklyn's ex, he's all in. I like it's like she's the one doing the line, but these other two are just like so happy and impressed by it. So yeah, here they're playing with this Simple Simon, and I remember it was lighting up and they're all pressing buttons, and then as soon as it lined up green, lit up green, James Hastings, our DP, was like, everyone on green, so they all pressed it, and that was just like the perfect end to the shot. Lubricated, consummated, devastated, castrated, inebriated. So yeah, we for the poker scene here, we kind of like staged the cards. Obviously we staged the cards, but I think it was even in the script that like Sebastian just has like the worst possible hand. So it's like one of the cards isn't even a real card, but it's just like really bad hand. And then of course Bettina has 5 aces.
Bad about Becky and Mildred, eh?
It's not the first time we lost people in one of these things.
So yeah, this area here, it actually looks perfect. We had a hard time finding this. I remember even, we kind of knew the rough area we wanted. It was where we filmed that scene on Jasper Ave, just off the river where Ronald rolled the bodies down. It was kind of that same area, but it's a huge area. So I think it was Sam Au and we arrived at this location like an hour before everyone else. Maybe we were on lunch or something, or everyone else was. But like, we got to go there and like find somewhere to film this. And I think it was a weekend, so of course there's just, you know, people out, you know, walking their dogs and having picnics and families and everything. Like, it was very busy. So we're like, well, this sucks. But I found an area, like, you had to walk down some rocks, and it was kind of hard to get to, so there wasn't going to be a lot of people down there. So we're like, oh, okay. Like, we walked down, and we found this, and it's like, perfect. This is where we could film it. Only issue is we had that blue bridge in the background there, you could see. And there was like heavy traffic on it. And this is supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere. And some people were like, man, like there shouldn't be the bridge there at all, because it just looks like this is supposed to be, you're out in nature, and it looks like, it's human made. And it's like, but there are bridges out, in the middle of nowhere, even in areas where there's not a lot of people living. So we just waited. I think we, wait till there's like a red light or something, because all of a sudden there'd be no traffic for a little bit on the bridge. So we would film, and then there'd all of a sudden be a lot of cars and everything. So we tried to do our best to make sure you didn't see any heavy traffic. But I think this does look, you wouldn't know that this is like in the middle of a big city. So I think this is like the perfect location. And again, to get rid of Becky's head, we just did the composite shot where we had her lay there, and then we had another shot with her moved away, and then we just kind of combined them both.
Sorry, Becky. I wish I could give you a proper burial, but I have people to kill. Lots of people.
So yeah, so basically this is kind of the moment where the turning point, and we're just past the halfway point of the movie. So you can imagine if we didn't cut all those other scenes that we cut in those other parts, like it would have been like twice this long. It was just too long. Even like this, like I was just concerned that like, especially slasher and horror fans, like there's going to get bored, without the killing. But we kind of realized, and Julie pointed out too, that this is like Mildred's story. It's not just a slasher movie. Like it's Mildred's story, and if people aren't interested in watching Mildred, and if they don't find the movie funny or amusing, like they're not going to be watching it anyway. So there was just no way to set this up that we could have her start killing people in the first 5 minutes. There was just no way. So it's like, what? It's just, we got to tell her story and make it as entertaining as possible. So hopefully people like this. And I think fans of Mildred are gonna like it no matter what. Yeah, so here we have the rock band that broke down on the side of the road. Of course, that's Crazy Dave there. He played Nick Zane in the last movie in the golf ball scene. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. So he has a better time. Nothing bad happens to him in this one, but he's back playing a different rock star. And yeah, this is a scene that we were filming on the same property as the Sleazy Motel. This was just behind the building. And if you tilt up like even like a millimeter, there's a row of houses there. You'd see houses, but this is supposed to be in the middle of nowhere, so we had to be very careful that you don't see the houses.
Guys, we're never going to make this gig on time.
Why don't you keep a spare can of gas in the van?
Well, we could probably do that if we had room, if it wasn't for your humongous drum kit.
Yeah, like your 4 suitcases of costumes don't take up enough space?
Both of you, shut up. Someone's bound to come along sooner or later.
Hey guys, can I catch a ride?
So this is kind of like as soon as Mildred becomes Mildred, all of a sudden you just have these like strange coincidences where everything's just working out perfectly for her.
Well, we'd give you a ride, but we don't have any gas.
Well, you're in luck. I found this can of gas up the road.
And I remember we were talking, because we're like, well, we don't want to just use like a regular jerry can of gas, like those plastic ones. And I think it was Caitlin found this one, and it's like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
You freaking kidding me?
I know, lucky, right?
So, where are you headed? Do you want to come to the show tonight?
Ooh, I'd love to, but I have to go on a murderous rampage through Camp Holy Springs.
Camp Holy Springs? That's just about a half-hour walk that way.
What's that?
That's our old bass player stuff. We had to kick her out of the band because she was stealing.
Well, I hate thieves.
So yeah, that was something I had to figure out, is like, how would Mildred either get her like old costume back or get a new costume? She's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I came up with this idea, well, what if she just comes across this band, and the band had a female bass player who dressed like Mildred Moyer, because by this point Mildred would have been all over the news because of this rampage, this woman in a polka dot dress and a mask killing people. she would have been a pop culture phenomenon at that point. So it makes sense that like a rock band someone would dress like her. So that's how Mildred finds it, and it just happens to be like a black version of the costume because we wanted something different than the first one.
You know, her onstage persona was dressing up like that serial killer Mildred Moyer.
Wow, polka dots. Hey, can I take this?
It's all yours.
And of course, that's the line she used in the first movie where she finds that stripper costume that was her original polka dot costume, where she's like, "Ooh, polka dots! Can I take this?"
Thanks. You guys are the best. By the way, what was your bass player's name? I might be able to help.
Terror.
Thanks.
Give him hell, Mildred.
And so people pointed out there, and I guess they're partially right. They're like, "How would he know her name's Mildred? She never said her name." But I think he's just saying that because she took Mildred's costume, so he's kind of just joking. And here we have the first time seeing Mildred in her costume. So I told Kaylee, our composer, that I wanted some music here that was kind of like Bad to the Bone, but not Bad to the Bone, but that kind of vibe.
I've missed this.
So all these first few scenes of her walking here were also filmed just behind that the motel, and this was filmed across the street from the goat area. This was like someone else's property, so we we're just right on the edge of it, so I think we could get away with it. But it just looks so cool that we're like, let's just get a nice wide shot of Mildred walking. And then we're back to the motel place. You actually see a sign there on the right, but this is it just looks like it's in the same general area, but maybe she's been walking for like an hour, but she's lost. And then this was yet another location. I think this is the only thing that we filmed here. Oh no, we filmed. There's a scene coming up in the tent that we filmed like at the same general vicinity. But yeah, we just walked around until we found this like little Y-shaped thing where it looks like there's multiple directions to go, and it's like perfect. Basically, like in Edmonton, it's called the River Valley, and it's basically this like wooded area like this that goes right through the middle of the city. It's kind of like Central Park in New York, but it's even bigger than Central Park. So you can be in the middle of this big city, but there's this area you can go to where it looks like this. So it's perfect for filming because we don't have to leave. You can go and find a river in places that look like you're in the middle of a forest, but it's actually like 5 minutes away from civilization.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay, that didn't help.
So yeah, this scene, what I was going for with this scene and the one after it is you always hear that trope that in horror slasher movies that anyone caught having sex or doing drugs gets killed. So I was just going to do the exact opposite and have people having sex and people doing drugs, and Mildred just kind of like, hi, bye, carry on or whatever she does, just to go against that trope, even though I don't think that trope really exists to begin with. I think that's just kind of a myth, but that's what I was going for here.
Hey there.
It also just shows that Mildred, like when she's just all gung-ho and ready to go, she just, she's not exactly the most appropriate person at all the times. I don't think she means to do anything wrong, and it's also just the joke that they just act like they're not doing anything wrong.
Sorry to bother you, but do you know which way it is to Camp Holy Springs?
That weird church camp?
Yeah, it's straight down that way.
So this is a couple we found. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but I think they were friends of Julie's, and they were awesome. They weren't even actors. They just were willing to come out and do this scene, and they did a great job. They were kind of nervous too because, what they had to do, but also just, doing the dialogue and stuff, and this is their first time, and your very first acting scene ever, I'm pretty sure it was, and they have to be, simulating sex while they do it.
you take the path to the highway and turn right. It's like
And I did. I wanted to take like the straps of her bra off like digitally afterwards, just to kind of make it seem more real. I asked her if that was okay, and she said it was fine. But I think the person doing our visual effects wanted too much money or something, so we ended up just leaving it as is.
20 minutes down the road.
Awesome, thanks. Carry on.
And I bought that telescope I think I just bought it on Amazon or something, and then I ended up selling it afterwards. It wasn't very expensive. It was like $50 or something, but I ended up selling it afterwards to get money to help finish the film.
That's weird. Cindy said the same thing to me.
Me too. You guys don't think she was saying all that stuff just to get us to join the church, do you?
And it's just funny how after all this time, it's just finally dawning on these guys that Cindy was lying to them.
No, what kind of horrible human being would do that? I thought I was her only one.
It's kind of one of those ongoing things with Grotesque, how like just the line between the bad and the good guys is so extreme. Like the good guys are just so good. They're just so naive. Like in this modern age, even someone that was not street savvy would kind of understand that someone's just taking advantage of them to get money out of them, but these guys are just so innocent that they don't understand it.
You know what? It's probably some big misunderstanding. We should ask her next time we see her in church.
Hey guys.
Was that Mildred?
So yeah, that sign there was just, I can't remember if that sign was made to go out there, but we found that little background thing with the 3 glass panes on it. We found that in the art room or something at the campground, and then we just attached our sign to it and then dragged it out there and got this cool shot of Mildred arriving at camp.
Hey guys, I'm back for another full-scale slaughter. I have no problem with any of you. You were all really nice to me. But I do recommend you leave because I don't want to traumatize you with what's about to happen.
So that's something that she said in the first Grotesque movie at the end when she comes to kill Blanche, and then she tells all her friends at work that they should just leave because they're going to be traumatized.
Oh, I almost forgot. Give me...
That's funny. Leave lights on, keep bats out. That wasn't something we made. That was a sign that was just hanging there when we arrived.
About a half hour or so before you call the cops. Thanks.
Now, this did bother me when I was editing, but there was no way to fix it.
Oh, I almost forgot. Give me about a half hour.
Let's play this back again.
Call the cops. Thanks.
How we just cut from doorway to doorway. So I ended up cutting that last shot just a tiny bit earlier than I would, because if you see Mildred fully walk away, it would have been an empty doorway, and then we cut to another different empty doorway, and it looks really bad. So I cut it while she was still in the doorway, so it makes it a little bit less jarring, but I still wish we could have done it in a different way, but so be it.
Before you call the cops. Thanks.
And we see people's vehicles there. Those are just like cast and crew vehicles, because there's a lot of people there, and we kind of tried to hide them, but I mean, how do you hide like 50 cars when it wasn't that big of a space? But I don't think it's that big of a deal, because there are people that work here. So like even in the movie world, there would be vehicles here, so it's not a huge deal. And this scene was a lot longer too. I had her like kind of creeping around doing all this other sneaky stuff, but then I just made it way faster and had her just get in there immediately.
Drugs are bad for you. Fun, yes, but bad for you.
So yeah, so this scene right here, this part, it was kind of hard to edit because that was our only like block of drugs that had the purple stuff in it, so we couldn't wreck it. So we didn't want her to actually spray it. But the thing is, every shot we had, you could see her holding it in her other hand. So just I'll show you what I did here. So yeah, so this shot here that I used to cut in between, this is not actually like a shot for the movie. this was just some shot that we had before, like the camera was running when Elizabeth was just standing there before we were actually filming anything. But she wasn't, doing anything out of character. She was just kind of standing there and looking down. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just cut this in between so you don't actually see that when she starts spraying, you just hear the sound, but you don't see the fact that she's not actually spraying the drugs. Because right there, you can see where her arm is, her left arm. She's actually holding the drugs. So I cut back in at this point where her right arm is blocking her left arm. So between those two shots, I can cover up the fact that we faked the whole thing. Well, I guess you could see it a tiny bit there. If you watch frame by frame, you could see it there, but most people don't. And then so it kind of worked out, but those are kind of nightmare moments when you're editing, and then you're like, oh shit, like there's this massive screw up that it's too late to fix on set. So I got to figure out a way to like edit around it without just making it look really bad. And I think it worked. So this was a bit longer too. We had her like trying to climb into the dishwasher more, but it didn't work so well. So I used just the beginning of it, and it still gets the joke across. I think like originally she tries to go in head first and then backs out.
I knew it.
So yeah, that water, that took so long to boil. We filled that pot up and then just turned the heat on, and we went and filmed other stuff and just left it for like so long because it took a long time to boil.
Hi, lunch lady. All together now?
So yeah, our real bacon, to kind of cap off our earlier joke. So we just bought some bacon at a grocery store, and then Caitlin made a cover for it. And there's a bit of a mix-up because when we were eating, because we cooked our own food there for the people that were staying there. And I think we hired like someone that worked at the campground. We could pay a little bit extra, and then they would like cook for us, but we like bought the food or something like that. And one of our crew accidentally cooked our prop bacon. So we were like getting ready to film the scene, and it's like, where's the bacon? And it's like, oh, we cooked it. So it's like, damn it, you didn't notice the fake label on it. So we had to like run to the grocery store, which of course we were like way out in the boonies at some lakes. We had to drive to the nearest town to buy more bacon. And then that could be why the label's not quite attached properly on it, because we had to like rip it off of one package and put it on the other. But I think it happens quick enough that no one really notices.
Real bacon.
And see, I didn't notice until I was editing that it's like, oh, she has her hands on the pot. Obviously the water wasn't actually boiling for real at this point, but I think if it was that hot, even if your face was being boiled, that you wouldn't be touching it. But whatever.
I hear salt numbs the pain.
Aw, man. That makeup does look pretty good.
By the way, your cooking sucks.
So, of course, that was a play on the scene from the first movie where she gouges that actor's eyes out, and she walks away, and she's like, by the way, your book sucks.
Addy, it's Cindy. I was skinny dipping and lost my clothes. Can you come help me?
So, of course, this is Mildred just playing on the fact that this guy has a crush on Cindy. I'm not sure how she knew that. I think it's just when she becomes Mildred, she just has this, like, eternal knowledge of, this, like, omniscient knowledge of everything. Or I guess probably someone else would have told her. Maybe it was, like, a rumor that got around. But so that's why she's faking the Russian accent.
Why are you faking a Russian accent?
She has a fucking accent. Who cares what accent I have? I'm naked and wet. Get out here.
Cindy?
I'm over here. Follow my voice.
Cindy.
So I can't remember where I got the idea for this kill. I think it was just, I thought it'd be funny for Mildred to suddenly have a gun, and then just shoot him from far away.
Where are you?
Yeah, originally there was a scene where she found the gun and she has some quippy line about it. Those brains look pretty good. Yeah, and there was also a scene where, Mildred said something when she finds the gun about, she's like, damn hunters improperly storing firearms. And then after she shot him, she was like, oops, like, I slipped, or, she had some line like that we ended up cutting. So yeah, this is the part earlier we saw these two trying to convince Lyle to let them take the canoe out, and here we are with them just returning. Then here, I told, our composer to write something that sounds kind of like Jaws but different, and we tried. I think this might have been it was the last thing that we filmed at the campground. Like most people had left, and then just like the core crew kind of stuck around to do this part. We did get this earlier. We tried filming it with a drone, but it was just hard to match the drone speed to Elizabeth, so we ended up just going out with the camera on the dock and then just using a long lens to get her to do that. And of course, it was hard for her. She couldn't swim very far, so it's hard to swim without moving your arms, holding them like that, with only using your feet. So she could only swim a very short distance. So that's why she would get up, get a breath, and then do it again, and then we just cut back and forth between those shots. So yeah, that turned out pretty good. Sometimes we have the wrong consistency with the color in the blood, and it's like a bit too orange, but that looks pretty good. And this here, this was hard to do. I can't believe this actually worked. So we built a fake hand. We bought a hand from somewhere, and then we like colored it to match his skin color. But it was hard plastic. So when Mildred tried to cut it, the fake hand, it wouldn't, like the shears wouldn't cut through it because it was just the plastic was so hard. So we ended up taking a saw and cutting all the fingers off. And then we got a shot of her cutting the fingerless hand. And I was like, man, this is not going to work. But when I was editing it, I just matched those two shots together and it worked. I'm going to see if I can just go frame by frame here to show it. So yeah, so there we see the fake hand that she's about to cut. But in reality, the shot, as soon as the blades touched the hand, it just like stopped. So you'll see at some point that we switched to the different hand, and the shears are even at a different angle, but somehow when you put it together, it works. So we'll watch frame by frame. See, there it is. And all of a sudden, there we cut to a different, the fingers are pre-cut. And we were trying to have blood. We had some like system rigged up to like pump blood out of it, but it just didn't really work. But if you watch it in full, it looks pretty good. So yeah, it just pure luck that it worked out. So yeah, you can see some of it's kind of spurting up a little bit. We wanted to come out through all of the fingers, and then Tarek here, or sorry, not Tarek, Taha, his name is, just did a hilarious job of doing the overreaction.
Wait a minute. A leech. Eleanor was right.
So yeah, those leeches were those ones. I'll tell the whole leech story when we get to the leech death, but those ones there I just bought on Amazon. I think they were just used for like fishing or something, and so they were pretty cheap.
This gives me an idea.
And these shots of the birds, it was just James Hastings in between shots, and he saw some birds, so he just started filming them, and I was like, hey, it's nice to put them in the movie as a little bit of a transition. And here we have Lyle found the canoe just floating out there after the Foster and Kit promised that they'd take care of it.
Hey, Charlotte, have you seen those idiots, Kit and Foster?
Not since last night.
They went out canoeing and left the damn thing floating all by itself in the water. Completely disrespectful for water safety.
Yeah, water safety. It's the most important part of a fun camping trip.
Well, if you see those jerks, let them know that I want to see them.
Fine.
So here we have another instance of Mildred not being the best at killer. You know, she just tries to hide and doesn't always work, or she's a bit too obvious. But I also feel kind of bags, and I think there was just like the inside of that canoe was full of just cobwebs and stuff, and poor Elizabeth had to have her head stuck in there.
Can I help you?
Hi, Lyle.
Why?
Because you're a horrible lifeguard, Lyle.
So this is kind of, it harkens back to the first Grotesque where she kills Francois, or she like hits Francois with an oar, and he's like, why? And she's like, because you're a terrible boss, Francois, but don't worry, the company can easily replace you. And now she hits this guy with an oar, and she's like, don't worry, the church can easily replace you, or you're a terrible lifeguard. So it's just kind of a throwback to that part.
But don't worry, the church can easily replace you. You know, you were wrong. There are leeches in Pigeon Lake. You just have to look hard enough.
So yeah, so we had a problem with not nearly enough leeches. I wanted a bucket full, and I bought a few bags on Amazon, but it wasn't nearly enough. So I think it was makeup department or someone, maybe it was, yeah, somebody made a bunch more out of like black Jello kind of or something like that. But even that wasn't nearly enough. So like we were ready to shoot the scene, and it's like, damn it, we don't have like even close to enough that we need. So we basically got everyone to just go out and find sticks that were like the right like thickness, and then we just chopped them into bits, and I think we like spray painted them black or something. That's how we made it look like. I mean, it still wasn't even close to enough, but it was better than what we had, and we had to make do with that. And of course, for all the close-up shots, we used the more realistic-looking ones.
Come on, little fellas. There's enough blood for everyone. You guys tuck in while I go grab the rest of the buckets. Hold tight. I'll be right back.
So Mildred doubles back here. So this is Sarah Spicer here laying on the ground. She's the one from the first Grotesque who was getting the stapler to the face.
When you run, it wastes my time and it makes me really, really mad. You're messing up my kill order.
So obviously any horror fan knows what movie we're kind of spoofing here. And originally this wasn't just a random thing. It was supposed to be like we filmed all the stuff at the camp first. So this was filmed first. And Sarah was supposed to come back for a scene at the church. But she ended up being unavailable. Something happened the day she was supposed to shoot. So we couldn't shoot her other part, which in the movie would have happened first. It was supposed to be right around the time where Cornelius cures the possessed woman. Sarah here was going to come out in a wheelchair, and he was going to like bless her, and then she was going to get up and be like, oh, I can walk now, it's a miracle, that kind of thing. So now Mildred is crippling her as punishment for that. But without the initial scene, it looks like it's just like a random way to maim her, but it does look pretty gross. So these feet actually looked pretty damn real. I think we had the fake foot that Marilyn's foot that gets chopped off in the first one. I think we paid like a few $100 to have that made or something. These ones I got on Amazon for like $60 or $80. Like they were quite a bit cheaper for both of them. And they look fairly real. They were quite small. Like I don't think they would work as like a man's feet, but like for for her feat here, and the fact that it's pretty quick is pretty decent. It's just kind of obvious that like they only go up into just inside the pant leg here, like by the ankle. So I think we have them taped in there, and I'm pretty sure that as we go forward frame by frame, you can kind of see the tape on one of them. I don't know, looks with the sound effect, this gets a really grossed out reaction from the audience. Maybe it's the other one that you can see the tape. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but I mean, it's not that obvious. But yeah, let's just back this up and watch it for real.
It wastes my time, and it makes me really, really mad. You're messing up my kill order!
Let's see you run now.
Yeah, even while we were filming that, we had a video monitor close by, and the crew was kind of gathered around watching it, and they were just like pretty grossed out by it.
Oh, that's almost cute.
Okay, that's far enough.
It's stabbing time!
So originally this went on for a lot longer. The joke was going to be that it just goes on for painfully long. That's supposed to be the joke, but then kind of after I edited it, I was like, man, I think people might just get bored and they just might not find it funny because the stabbing goes on for a couple minutes, so we ended up just cutting it way down. But I was there just giving her, I was like, stab to the side, like hold it different, and like sharpen the like rub the knives together like you're sharpening them, and then stab again, and then we ended up using none of it, and I think I made the right choice. It's still pretty long.
I hope a bear eats you. How's it going, boys? Getting nice and fat?
And in the script, I wanted it to be like I think it was later on we see his body again, and it's like all the blood's been sucked out, but we just couldn't figure out a way to do that practically.
Oh, better slow down. Our buddy Lyle's getting a little pale. Here, I brought some friends to join you for dinner.
And it's kind of funny because basically he's just raking rocks, like he's not actually doing anything, but they just had this cool little building here that we wanted to use. And actually, like if we just panned even slightly to the right, this is where the canoes are, where we just did the Lyle's death scene, but we didn't want to show his body there, so we just kind of framed it like this. Now there is some continuity errors in here with the doors being opened and closed, and it's one of those things where like everyone is wearing so many hats and no one was specifically paying attention to it, and but honestly no one's mentioned it, so I guess it's not a big deal.
Hi, Sebastian.
Mildred? I thought you were dead.
That was Mildred Mayer. I'm Mildred Moyer.
What are you doing wearing that evil costume?
See, now the doors are wide open.
I repent! Pray for my soul, Sebastian. Pray with me.
Dear Lord, please show this young lady the error of her ways for dressing like the spawn of Satan.
And I kind of wish we'd spent more time on this too. Like it kind of looks good, but it just didn't quite work. And obviously this wig did not match his hair at all, so so this scene here, I think someone brought up like we didn't want to get blood on the shirt because we like the yellow shirt there because we only had like one of them, and her death scene was next. So we're like, well, we don't want to show her put the shirt on, but then it's like, why would she take the shirt off later? So we're like, how about she just like throws a shirt over her shoulder because her cabin's literally right next door, and then so that's why she walks away without putting her shirt on.
See ya.
And then we got a can of Bud Suds there. And some people didn't even notice this, but she's actually wearing Sebastian's like scalp as a like toupee. So obviously that's CGI fire. This, we were worried that it was not going to work, and it was originally supposed to be a lot longer, but we had to just cut it to make it work better. I'm not sure if that's the heavy-duty, highly flammable, mega-toxic, get the job done. I don't know if that was real or if that's a label that Caitlin put on there. I can't remember. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing that we had to cut that, because we actually, Jamie Clark put makeup on his face to make his face look burned. So we were supposed to cut back between his face getting burned and Mildred spraying the flames on him a couple times, but it just didn't work, so we had to cut it early.
I don't have anything cruel to say to you. I just don't like you.
So this hit here, I sped up the speed of the shot by quite a bit, just to make it look like she hit her harder, because she was obviously doing it light, because we didn't want to hurt Katrina. So I sped it up, but I think it looks pretty good, especially with the sound effect in there. And this, yeah, we just had the bag over her head, and she was just holding the bag over her face, and then there was like a hole at the top, and we had like a hose or something that we were pumping blood into. And we had to do it a bunch of times, because sometimes it would only like run down the side and it just wouldn't go properly. So we had to do it a bunch of times till we got it right. I think originally it was going to be Mildred hit her with a hammer. That's what was in the script. I can't remember why we changed it. Maybe someone forgot the hammer or something, but yeah, we changed it. I like how he just kept the drug money bag, too. See, I kind of wanted to show... I got the idea from Kane Hodder, who plays Jason in some of the later Friday the 13th movies. And he said that when he plays Jason, like, he never makes him look weak. Like, he never looks down to see where he's walking. Like, he never does anything that shows that he's nothing like more than like or less than an aggressive like killing machine. So I kind of did the opposite with Mildred, where she's actually like more realistic. She's not very good at things, right? She tries to hide on someone and then just gets caught doing it. So everything she does is kind of more awkward and stuff. So I think it just makes her character more like cute and funny and relatable.
Oh, hey. This is awkward. I was just hiding in the back and was gonna pop up and scare you when you got in your car. I was gonna kill you, but now my plan's blown and it's all awkward, so just forget the whole thing.
And I think just with him being the drug dealer guy, it just seems like he's definitely going to get killed by Mildred, but she changes her mind because apparently she doesn't consider that to be as bad of a crime as, you know, just talking bad about somebody. And there was some dialogue here. There's quite a bit that we cut out of the scene. There's a part where she's like, I know you're a drug dealer. And he's like, why would you think I'm a drug dealer? And she's like, because you wear sunglasses. So there was just some more moments like that, but we ended up just cutting them.
Okay, great. You have a good day.
So I think these guys are having a rematch because they had their match at the beginning, the opening montage when Mildred first arrives at the camp. And one side loses, so I think they're just having a rematch to see who would win.
Excuse me, can I try something?
So yeah, this kill, I wasn't sure how we were going to do it. I wrote it in the script, and I could kind of see it in my mind, but I wasn't sure how we'd pull it off. And even Julie was like, it's like, I don't know, like, I can't picture what you have planned for this. And I was like, yeah, just trust me, we'll make it work. It was just a matter of, like, finding the right tree and getting the truck close enough to it. And when we found this tree, I think it was the day we were filming this. Like, we were just so busy out there that we didn't have time to prepare for some of it. So it was like, okay, next thing we're doing is this scene. So it's like, Brandon, you better go find a tree. So I'm like, okay, let's use this one right here. But the little shrubs here, the plants around it were like so high you could barely walk through it. So we gave the shears that Mildred used to kill Kit. I asked Elena if she could just like take them and chop them all down while we were setting up. So she went and like cut them all back. So there's actually enough room here to walk.
What are you doing?
And we had to kind of cheat this because the rope was only long enough for her to make like 2 runs around. So we had to like cut to make it look like it was longer. And people have brought up, they're like, why would he just stand there and let Mildred tie him up? Well, my thinking is he doesn't know he's going to die. He doesn't know it's the real Mildred Moyer, or maybe he doesn't even know who Mildred is. He just thinks like she's playing around with him. So he doesn't know his life's in danger. And it's like, well, I mean, there's 3 guys there. So really what's she going to do? So he's kind of like, what are you doing? And it's not until she ties it to the back of the truck that he's like, oh shit, maybe I'm in trouble here.
Hey, stop. I know what you're doing.
And it's kind of unfortunate here because we had the blood coming down his eyes, but he also had a mouthful of blood, and he's supposed to spit it up. But the way we had the shot frame, when he spit it out, his mouth was like off camera, so we like barely see any blood come out. See right there, it's like so he spit out this mouthful of blood, but it was off camera, and then when he stands up, we see the blood there. So, but we just couldn't stop. So we had to schedule to keep. So this was another part that we shot a few months later or something at Carl's cabin. So this was at a different lake. And you'll see her legs there. Originally, because the water was so shallow, like we needed her close to the shore so we could film from the dock. But the water was too shallow, so we had to. I wanted her to be like standing, to be like crouched down and stand up. But this is the best that we could do. And I was like, you could totally see her legs in the water. So we were gonna just use effects to like paint that out. But then people thought it was funny that you could see her legs, so we ended up keeping it in. And obviously you could see the water here on the edge of the dock because this is like, we'd already filmed this part of her climbing out a bunch of times, so it was wet there, but not a big deal. So this leg slice here is the makeup was done by Jamie Clark, and it looks really good. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Of course, if you notice, I think did we put on the wrong leg? I think we'll see. I think that's her right leg. Or maybe we got it right. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I guess it's still on the right leg. And I like this shot here. You can see Mildred's reflection in the water. So I was like, wait till Elena's foot's right off the screen and then cut. And obviously this is baby powder that we used. I just thought it was funny that Mildred just somehow knows where to get a large amount of anthrax at at a moment's notice. So I imagine that this was later. I don't think it was clear, but this is like a while later. People thought, I could see why. Like they thought that she was walking out as Mildred was still there, and they're like, how come she didn't see Mildred? It's like, well, I imagine this is just sometime later, but yeah. So I don't know. I think our makeup artist actually looked up what anthrax burn would look like to try to make it look more realistic. I don't know if it would happen that quickly, but whatever, the joke worked. And it's also how Mildred was able to change back into her original costume, because she had like a good 20 minutes there before Maggie got out of the water. I love how she just finds it so hilarious. So yeah, now we're back to the freezing cold day. Yeah, this was a hard day. And it's weird looking at it because, like, if you look at the original footage, it's not this bright. It looks like it's a, a cold, gross day.
What you doing there? Fishing? Oh. Carry on. Wait a minute. Wasn't he one of the people at the table that was making fun of everyone?
See, I can't remember where we got this net, but it was actually like, you kind of see in movies that people get a net thrown over them, and it's like, how could they not get out? But it's like, I can kind of see why now, because after we filmed the part with Tristan in the water, and he came to shore, we're trying to get the net off, and we just like couldn't find the end of it. It was just like wrapped around him, and he's starting to panic, like, get this thing off of me. And we're like, how do you, like, where's the opening? And it was very frustrating. This was a very hard scene to edit. We were just shooting so fast because it was so cold and miserable out that we didn't get all the shots that I should have gotten. So I was trying to piece it together, and that's why it's kind of edited very choppy and awkwardly, but it was the best I could do.
Not only are there leeches in Pigeon Lake, but also piranhas.
So that part where she raises it up, we had a whole bunch of shots of her raising it up, but somehow none of them quite worked. So I ended up just taking a shot of her when she lowers the bucket, and then I reversed it, and somehow that looked perfect. And obviously these are very fake fish. I either bought them on Amazon, or maybe our prop person got them or something, but I'm glad they floated at least. And then we just dumped like a ton of blood. We just dumped all this blood, and it still wasn't like enough, so we had to dump quite a bit.
Eat up, little fishies. Come here, you little cutie.
Oh, here we have Quilton. Quilton, yeah, I just bought him on Amazon or something, and he's still on my DVD shelf in my living room. He's still there, and he's made an appearance in a couple other movies too.
Don't worry,
So obviously we're just dragging him along with fishing wire. And funny enough, we were filming it was like I'm Haunted 3 or something. We were filming out in the river valley, and I saw an actual porcupine walking around, so I followed him and filmed him, and I was like, damn, if this happened before this movie, we could have just used real life footage. But I think it's kind of funny and charming that we have the obviously stuffed animal. And yeah, and he is a puppet, so she's just got her hand up him and is operating his arms.
Cutie.
There's Rain earlier who said animals were disgusting.
Hold on tight.
This kill gets a lot of laugh. It's well, I don't know if it's a kill, but it's a maiming, we'll call it. And it just worked perfectly. We had to throw it a whole bunch of times until we got it right, but it just looks so hilarious.
Hi, Rain.
Oh yeah, the porcupine squeak. I was of the opinion that it's too much and we shouldn't have had it. But then Julie was like, I'll ask my kids and some people, and they all thought it was funny having it, so we kept it.
Animals are our friends, Rain. Don't forget that.
So yeah, these two guys playing frisbee. I wanted to get a two shot of them, like a wide shot from the side. But the thing is, we didn't have just the way that this is in Carl's, the road that runs by Carl's house. And just between this area and where the houses were, we couldn't get far enough back, and we didn't have a wide enough lens to have them appear far enough apart. The widest lens we had, it still looked like they were playing frisbee from like 5 feet apart. It just looked weird. So I was like, okay, we won't show them the same shot. We'll cut back and forth, and then you could just imagine that they're a reasonable distance away. And see, this is kind of unfortunate here because we had her we had the saw blade that she throws. We had a real one that we bought, but obviously for throwing it at someone and for handling, we had a fake one that Caitlin made out of just like cardboard or something and like foil, or somehow made it look silver. But when we tried throwing it, it was too light and it would just like fly off to the side. So we taped a bunch of like loonies, like Canadian dollar coins to it to weigh it down, and then it worked. The only problem here is then when Mildred bends down here and then picks it up, she held it up with the coins facing out so you could see them, but nobody noticed until we were editing. So I had to like cut the part out here where you see the blade.
Can I play? Go long.
Oh, I paused it perfectly. So yeah, that's a fake hand. It actually maybe it's the same kind of fake hand for the guy getting his fingers cut off with the shears. Maybe it's the other one. I can't remember, but obviously we just had the coat there and then his hand sticking out. I'm gonna watch this frame by frame. We did this a whole lot of times. This was so hard to get right, and I don't think we ever got it perfectly. So you could tell, yeah, that's just made of cardboard right there. Yeah, it was technically supposed to go straight through. It looked like it bounced off of there, but... And then that there, like once we did that scene with the knocking the fake hand off, we just put some blood on the real blade, and then I just carefully handled it and threw it on the ground there and to get that shot. So when you watch it all together, it looks like this.
Go long.
Oh, that's funny. I remember I was standing like right next to him. I think we have like a behind the scenes video of me standing there, and I was getting like doused in blood.
I
was aiming for his head. Hi. You guys seen Hazel around? Breakfast is supposed to be ready and she's vanished. If she doesn't get her ass in gear, we're gonna have a bunch of hungry campers, am I right?
Yeah, hungry for a fix.
Don't talk about that shit out loud. It's not funny. If we fuck up, I don't get paid.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, if I go down, I'm taking you two assholes with me.
Jesus, Bettina, we're just joking. Go look in Hazel's cabin. She's probably still sleeping.
I already looked in her cabin. She's not there. Just let me know if you find her.
Seems like bad people just vanish off the face of the earth whenever I'm around. I'm a scientific anomaly.
Mildred? Is that you?
No, I'm the other 6-foot redhead who wears a mask and a polka dot dress and senselessly murders anyone who gets in their way.
So I think for that marshmallow there, we didn't actually have a fire going. I think we just like used a lighter, like a big lighter or something to burn it.
It's delicious.
Are you the Mildred that killed all those people?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be. That Mildred, she had a 12-inch nose.
Oh my god. People still can't get over my nose. You know, looks aren't what makes a person. It's about what's in here. Unfortunately for you, that means a red hot roasting stick.
So yeah, we did add some digital blood to the end of the poker there, because originally it was just too thin that you could barely see it. So I just wanted it that you could see that it's going through her body, because we made some like little apparatus that went under her shirt to have the blade coming out the back.
I've chased people down before. They never escape.
So originally here we had her doing the same thing from the first Grotesque, where she's like stretching and then she's like ready, set, go. But but I decided just to cut that to have it quicken the pace. And poor Laura here had asthma. We just had her like just running full tilt, and she was pretty tired. So we had her, like, we actually filmed her going to 4 houses. She went from this one, and then she, like, ran to this one and said shit, and then ran to this one and said shit, and then ran back. But I was like, okay, that's a bit too much. So we had to just stop here.
Where the fuck is everyone?
This whole chase scene is actually pretty good.
Oh, God.
And I wish we just spend a bit more time to make sure that this kick to the head sold, but it's, yeah, it is what it
There's
is.
no escaping Mildred Moyer. Hi-ya!
This is one of the best kills in the movie. This was in the script right from the beginning. I was quite pleased with myself when I thought of this. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be so cool.
Just hold still. This is gonna be awesome. Woo! First place for Mildred.
And of course, Clea has the sword in the back, because a lot of people, I can see why, because her hair looked different. But Clea here is the same one that was sword fighting with Veronica near the beginning of the movie, so that's why she has that sword.
You should have driven an electric car, Clea.
So of course we just had a smoke machine with a hose going up her shirt.
Whoa, that is messed up.
And Hazel disappeared. It's like she walked out halfway through cooking breakfast. And now
I can't remember where this joke came from. I think someone just brought up that, like, it's like, what does Cornelius actually do? Like, you never really see him working. So it's like, what does he do when he's just hanging out with nothing to do? It's like he just screws around and makes a little pyramid out of Bibles and beer bottles.
Can't find Charlotte or Sebastian. This place is like a freaking ghost town.
Well, figure it out. That's what we pay you for. There's enough going on out there already.
Yes, sir.
So Jade here, she has like a bad knee. You see that knee brace on. So she's like, I can run, but like we can't do this like 20 times. Like we do it like one time and that's it. So we had to make sure that we just got her running the bare minimum.
Calling all campers! Follow the sound of the bell to the dining hall to meet your demise at the hands of Mildred Moyer. Oh, there you are.
Mildred Moyer? Is that really you?
'Tis I, in the flesh.
I don't know who you think you are, but Camp Holy Springs is my territory. Only I ring the bell.
Well, there's a new boss in town. Sorry, that sucked. I got a better one. Well, I'm in charge now. Yeah, actually, that sucked too. Damn it. Ah, fuck it.
Wakey, Cheeky Bettina. Did you know the name Bettina means one who is about to be sacrificed?
No, it doesn't. It means blessed.
Do you feel very blessed right now?
Not particularly.
So yeah, even like right up until we were going to film this scene, there was a lot of stress because we didn't know where we were going to do it or how we were going to do it. And we've been discussing it for like quite a long time, for like weeks. I even talked to this like magician guy to see like, it's like, how do we stage a fake cutting someone in half? And we discussed doing it kind of like in Day of the Dead, how they split that guy, how it's like it was bodies on one level and then his legs kind of, or her legs would go down to another level, and then we would attach fake legs to her real body and then spread them apart. And we even had like a waist down of a mannequin to do that, but then we're like, well, we don't have a table that allows us to do that. We would have to cut a hole in it. And so we weren't sure how to do that. We weren't even sure where we were going to film it. But then people went out and they found this little area here, and it's got these little like poles around it with the lights on them, with the little like lamps, which would look cool at night, but doesn't work quite well here. But it looks like some kind of sacrificial area. So we're like, okay, let's take a picnic table from the dining hall, and we got people just to carry it all the way out here. And then so we shot it here, and then you'll see how we did the splitting.
I have to warn you, this is gonna hurt. Help! They're all dead. Well, the bad ones anyway. Please don't do this. Didn't you see that movie they made about me? Begging doesn't help.
And see, people think that I was breaking the fourth wall there, and I was actually talking about the first Grotesque movie. That was not my intention, although if you want to think that, go right ahead. But my intention was that, like, the Mildred Moyer story, if it was real life, it would have been a big enough deal that someone would have made a movie about it. Maybe not within a year, but it's possible. So that's what she's talking about.
Maybe sweet, but I'm merciless. Now hold still.
And if you look right at the bottom here, you could see that's Bettina's mic cable there. It was a oversight on our part.
And try not to scream. I have a headache.
So yeah, right here, I'm pretty sure those were the mannequin legs that we just put her pants on or her shorts on, and then I think we had like a fake torso that we put the shirt over, and then we just put a bit of blood on it and then cut in there. But if you look in, you can tell there's like nothing there. So yeah, for this shot, I'm actually surprised it worked this well. Basically, we like put the camera on a tripod, locked it off, and then we had her lay here. And then we had her get out of the shot, and we just had an empty shot. And then we had her lay down again, and Mildred just grabbed her legs and dragged her down, like her full body. And then we just kind of split the shot in half when we made the composite shot, where the top half of her body stays where it is, and then the bottom half moves as Elizabeth pulls it. And then in the middle, we use that empty shot to cover up to like that space in between to make it look like she's split. I'm not a really good effects person at doing that kind of stuff, so like to me it seems pretty cool, but it's actually probably very basic stuff for visual effects. And those guts that spilled out, originally they weren't there. Even when the first cut of the movie was done, there was nothing there, and I just felt it looked kind of weird that it's like she gets pulled in half. Like, wouldn't there be organs and stuff in there? So Jamie Clark came over to my place one day. We went to Safeway and just bought a whole bunch of just like different types of like meat and stuff. And then Jamie brought her her movie blood, and we put it all in the bucket. And then on my dining room table, we just covered it in plastic. And then I think I just filmed it on my phone or something. And we just had her dump the bucket until the guts spilled out. And we did that a bunch of times. And then we had probably James Hastings, I think, did it, or maybe Katie Gobert, whoever did the effects for this part, just added the guts spilling out, and it looks so much better now. So I'm gonna let's watch that again. And it does help because originally, like, we were pulling these guts out, and the guts were just someone was like feeding them to Elizabeth behind the body, but it was just too obvious that they were behind the body, not coming from inside. So the guts that are laying there help obscure that. And then you can see the guts moving a bit. I think while we were filming it, we were talking to Hastings, and he was like, we sent him the shot that we got of the guts spilling out. We're like, will this work? And he's like, yep. But he's like, jiggle them around a bit just so it looks like they're moving as Elizabeth's fumbling around in there.
The scene at Camp Holy Springs.
So all these voices you hear are people who donated to our crowdfunding campaign. They got to have their voices in the movie.
Can only be described as a slaughter. Authorities still haven't confirmed the number of bodies found.
Cornelius and fam, I'm coming for you. Just need to make a quick stop first.
Mildred Mobile.
If the rumors of Mildred Moyer's return are true, it begs the question, where's she been for the last year? And more importantly, who's she going after next?
I'd just like to say that Mildred Moyer is a hero. There's a lot of bad people in this world, and it's about time somebody did something about it.
An anonymous source with the Eddington police says the killings bear all the hallmarks of the city's most notorious murderer, Mildred Moyer.
You are listening to Rev Up Rick. And you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Mildred Moyer is back, and she's up to her old tricks. So keep your families inside and lock them doors, because no one is safe.
Okay. That Mildred Moyer, she is pure evil. The government has got to use the entire might of the Canadian Armed Forces to stop her.
Oh, fuck you, buddy.
That was kind of a callback to the first movie when I got the idea for that scene where Blanche is like parked in the handicap spot. So I was just like, oh, let's do something like that again, but he's parked in two spots.
Hey, take.
And this is Jeff Scott. He's become a good friend of ours and a very valued team member. He's actually from Phoenix, Arizona. He met Elizabeth working on when she was down in the U.S. working on a movie down there, and he liked the Grotesque movies. He loved them, and started talking to us. And he wanted to be in the movie, and we're like, oh, like that'd be amazing, but like you kind of live far away in another country, and it's too difficult for us to like basically we can't afford to fly you out here. But he's like, oh, I'll come out there on my own dime. So he drove from Phoenix, Arizona to Edmonton just to meet us and have a small part in the movie. And we're like, yeah, if you drive here, we will add a part into the movie. This was originally not in the script, but it's like, hell yeah, if you want to come, like you got yourself a juicy role in the movie. So we wrote this scene just for him, and we filmed this at the same site where this is the Sleazy Motel.
You can have 2 spots.
Why don't you keep your big nose out of my business?
And see here we have it like Mildred, maybe she's maturing a little bit. She's like, okay, the guy kind of mouthed off and mentioned the big nose, but there's no way that he could know that she used to have a big nose. So she was gonna let him go, but he had to push his luck.
Bitch.
Mildred's not very good at killing people without witnesses being around.
Hey, you want a car?
That's Elizabeth's dad, Todd, there playing transient Todd. He's one of the executive producers on the film and helped us raise the money and actually get the movie made. So thanks to him for that.
What about the body?
Oh, don't worry about that. I know a guy.
So there's kind of speculation on who that guy is that's on the card. It could be Danger Dan, and she's just unaware that he's dead. Or it could just be someone else in their criminal network, because they have this Angel Doctor and Danger Dan have this network of people that help them out. So yeah, this scene here, we had to do some last minute casting replacement because this bass player, Tara Terror, it was originally supposed to be played by Wiley Johnson, who played Mildred's sister in the first movie. And that's why at the end of this part, Mildred whips the cymbal at her and hits her in the head. That was supposed to be referencing the first movie where the sister throws the plate and hits Mildred in the head. But it was the day we were filming the upcoming bowling scene. I remember we were filming the bowling scene, and all of a sudden Wiley messages us kind of distraught. She had a death in the family or something, like something serious, and wasn't able to do it. And we're like, oh no, like we rented this location. So it's like, shit, we have to do it. So kind of like everyone just jumped on social media and was like, hey, anyone want to be in a movie? We need you today. And I think Alice Woodsworth here, I think she came up from Calgary. I'd never even met her before, never heard of her, but Elizabeth's like, yeah, I know her, she's good, and she's willing to come, so she came up, but of course she's like, I don't know how to play bass. I think Wiley knew how to play music, kind of. She's like, I don't know how to play bass, but we're like, okay, we could fake, the song's pre-recorded, so you could fake your way through it. So basically we had to give her a crash course on how to fake play bass, and then she did an amazing job. And the guitar player there on the right, Sheldon, he actually came up from Lethbridge, which is in southern Alberta. It's probably like a, 8 or 9 hour drive or something. It's quite far away from Edmonton, but he came up to do this, so it's awesome. And then Curtis there, the drummer, he used to be in Crazy Dave's band, and he was in a horror show, and he also played a bit part in I'm Haunted too, so he's been doing some stuff for us.
Who the fuck are you? Johnny's new bassist?
Not exactly, but I am a friend of his. Mind giving us a moment, fellas?
Hey, do you play bass? We might need someone new.
Sorry, no. Just the ukulele.
Clearly they don't like Tara Terror very much.
You stole from Johnny and the band.
Oh, come on. You knew they weren't going anywhere. Might as well spend the money on a band that has a chance of actually making it.
Do you know what I do to people who steal?
No. What?
I'm actually not sure. This is my first time dealing with it. But maybe I should set a precedent. Well, what are you doing?
So this location, it was actually in someone's house in their basement. They had this nice house. It was like in St. Albert or something, I think. And they rented it out. It was mostly for like small shows. Like we cleared the room out, but there was tables, so it kind of looked like a small nightclub kind of thing. We just moved all the tables out of the way, but it had this this drum kit was already there, and I think they had the instruments. We might have brought our own instruments, I can't remember, but it was a very cool looking place. And I just happened to see it one day. She was like advertising it for rent on Facebook, and I was like, hey, we're gonna need something like that. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, could we film part of a movie there? And yeah, it worked out very well.
Get away from me, you fucking psycho!
So yeah, that was we had a cardboard symbol, and that was me throwing it. We had to do it a whole bunch of times till we got it right, but let's see if we can watch that frame by frame. So there, that's the real one that she's about to throw, and then we cut to this. Yeah, you could tell that's cardboard. And we just added the sound effect in there. Yeah, that worked perfectly. And yeah, they had this popcorn machine there that, you know, we were kind of snacking on the entire time we were filming, and by the end it was like all the way down.
Oh, bitch.
No need for name calling. Bass players.
So yeah, kind of, since I play bass myself, I kind of find it funny that I can just kind of in a friendly way rip on bass players. We kind of did the same thing in Hotbox too. So yeah, this we made this cross here. Prop department made it, and this sign here at the real church, it said something different, but we changed it to "Come in, Jesus loves you always." There was debate. I think some, can't remember who wanted it, who didn't, but we were gonna we're gonna rephrase it, "Come in, Jesus loves you always," just to make it extra gross. But I think we figured that was going too far, because this church was very nice for letting us film all the stuff in there. We didn't want to just go out of our way to offend them. And if you see this van, this vehicle right here on the right side, that's it's Caitlin Varen's vehicle, but it was the one that the drug dealer drove. So I didn't even realize that was parked there, but that is the same vehicle. And I remember when we were filming this scene, we were like, oh shit, was the Mildred mobile, was that sticker on the front door or the back door? And we couldn't remember, and we didn't have the SD card with us that had that footage on there. So we filmed it twice, once with it on the front and once with it on the back, just so either way we had our bases covered. And so you can see here that it's got all these chairs that we took out, and there's more on the other side too. But when we saw the original church scenes, we only kept the ones in the middle. But I justify it that the church has grown a lot in the week since the last or 2 weeks, whatever it's been since when Mildred was in church, so they had to get more chairs. And it's hard to see, but you actually see Mildred hiding there. Yeah, she's hiding in the window there, holding the crucifix.
Hey, I just clobbered Clobell. 997.
And we were only able to shoot from the side because Jason's whole right arm is covered in tattoos, and it just the makeup on there, like the cuts, just they wouldn't show as well, so we had to shoot from this side.
998. 999. 1,000. Turns out you can dive in 1,000 paper cuts.
And if you see here, we filmed the blood scenes first, and we filmed this later. Actually, this might even been a different. No, I think it was the same day. But you could see that little bit of blood there on his pant leg. And yeah, this too, originally, the scene later where we called the gangbang scene with Cindy, originally that was first, and then he was like spying on her, and then he goes in the bathroom and he's like masturbating after, basically seeing his sister doing that, so which has made it extra gross. But we ended up juggling the scenes around to put them in a different order, so now he's just masturbating because of whatever. So it's bit of a different vibe, but that was originally what was in the script.
Ronald?
And yeah, Julie, for whatever reason, Julie wasn't able to be there that day where we filmed, or wasn't there for that time where we filmed Ronald's scene. So we came back a couple weeks later or something to film her side of the conversation.
Are you in here?
Yes. I'm busy, Mom. Go away.
Well, when you're finished, go find your sister. You guys gotta head back out to the camp with Clobell and find out what's going on.
Okay, now get out! Mom, I told you to leave me alone. I can't concentrate if you're in here. Mom? Cindy?
Yes, again. Here, let me help you with that.
Yeah, she must be incredibly powerful to rip that off with her bare hand.
Oops, sorry.
And I remember when we were making the fake penis here, I thought it'd be funny. I might just try to make it like as small as possible. And Jamie Clark basically modeled it like around her pinky finger. And when I saw it, I was like, is it possible to make it like even smaller? But I think we just decided like if it was any smaller, you wouldn't barely be able to see it. So it was like, okay, I guess that's funny enough. But originally you'd see the tips a different color here. Originally it was all just the same color, and we had to like use special effects to just make the tip a different color.
Sorry.
Details are important.
Guess I'm a little rough with my HJs. Oh.
So here, yeah, this is the tail end of the gangbang. We got we cut the part where Ronald was spying on her. And these are, I'm in here somewhere. I think that's Sam Au. I think that's Gavin. Anyone that can guess who everyone here is, maybe they'll win a prize. It was kind of just like whatever guys were around that day. That's me. So if you notice, there's the collection plate here, and I think there's like $5 or something, like and a bunch of change in the collection plate. This room here, you might recognize it. It was the same room where we filmed the end of I'm Haunted 2, where Danielle or Bailey finds her like the doppelganger of her daughter in this room. That was the same room.
Who are you? Why do people always pretend like they don't recognize me? Maybe you're an imposter. Oh, trust me, I'm the real deal. And you sicken me.
I'm being slut-shamed by Mildred Moyer.
I might have questionable ethics, but I don't take advantage of people, and I don't steal.
They were willing participants.
You know what? I'm not gonna kill you. I think you having to live with yourself is punishment enough.
You have no right to judge me, you fucking deformed psycho bitch! I do what I have to survive. If I have to use my body to get money from these stupid men, it's all for the greater good.
Tell that to them. I gave them a call on my way here. I mean, it's not like they're gonna go to prison. Everyone will assume it was me who killed you. Bye, Cindy.
Hey, Mildred.
So yeah, originally, I think like we added this in the reflection in his glasses there, because I think originally maybe you could see her in one of them, or maybe not. I can't remember exactly, but in either one or both of his glasses, you could see Eureka, who plays Cindy. She was sitting in a chair in that room, just like looking at her phone or something, and you could just like see that in the reflection. I was like, oh, great. So I'm like, what if we just added Mildred in there?
Wanna help?
Come on, guys. It was this way.
So yeah, this scene it didn't quite work out as well as I wanted, but it was really hard to have her like arms and legs ripped off. And we actually filmed this part in a different, like we filmed at 2 different locations. Some of it we filmed at that goat location. We filmed some of her talking, and the guys in the car we filmed there. But the actual part where she gets ripped apart, we filmed at the church.
My fault. My real mother, she left me when I was very young.
Or no, I think we did all this. I think we did it twice. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how I edited it. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure this is the church.
My father was an alcoholic. It's Cornelius and Veronica's fault. What I do is good business. I'm helping the economy. You guys should be thanking me.
Just hold on, Cindy. We'll be with you in a moment. I feel like going for a drive. Ready, boys?
So yeah, these parts here are at the different location, out where we did the goat and all those parts. Let's watch this in slow motion here. So, oh yeah, you could kind of see her arms there. Like, I think we had like green sleeves over her arms, and you can kind of see them a bit here. And obviously those are like fake hands, and her arms are tucked behind her back. And then I know where I think her legs are. I don't know where her legs are, but basically we have these fake ankles and shoes attached to there. So and we ended up, like, we did have like hoses running up all of them, and you could see some blood spraying out, but it ended up like this one came out the sleeve, but this one came out here. It just didn't really work. And then we had to use, you could see, originally you could see her real legs like sticking out, and then we just painted them out. But you could tell this is kind of pretty cheap CGI effects here. Look at this leg. But her face kind of sells it. So it's like, yeah, it's not perfect. And it's like, yeah, like that blood spraying out of there, and this is like spraying out of like her waist. It could have worked better, but like by this point we were like so broke that it's like, that's as good as it's gonna get. So let's just watch it in full speed.
I don't care what anybody.
And yeah, we really should have gotten her to do a scream rather than use the fake scream there that we found, but whatever.
Says she had an accent.
And there was originally going to be something in between there. Now it's like she's in the car and all of a sudden she's walking up here, but whatever was in there we cut, but you know, not a big deal.
Hi, Ronald.
So here he's not actually standing on the roof, he's just standing like on the ground, and we just put the camera right at his feet and pointed it up. Originally in the script, after he got his dick ripped off, he was supposed to run and jump out of, like, the church was going to be 2 floors, and he was going to run and jump out of a second-story window, like a stained glass window. And we figured like that would be hard to do, but it would just look visually cool. And we were just going to get like sugar glass, like fake glass, for him to jump out of. And then he lands on a spike. And I remember we were like driving around the city, like everywhere we were going, we're just like every church we'd pass, we'd be like, would that one work? Would that one work? And ultimately we just couldn't find one. And we talked to like a Catholic church, but of course they didn't want us to film in there. And it eventually we're like, well, how about we just change it that he jumps off the roof and lands on a spike?
Jump, jump, jump. What are the chances there'd be a giant spike right there?
And I think this looks pretty good. Obviously, we're referencing Cannibal Holocaust here, but if you look at that one, it's like the bottom and the top don't quite line up. I think we beat that one. May not be as famous, but I think we did a pretty good job. So this here is in that house I was talking about across the street that the church owns, so we were allowed to film in there. So that's why Veronica here can see him across the street. So this pole, it looks like it's sticking out of the ground, but it actually had a base on it. We just covered the base in like green paper so that we could key it out. And this funny, she grabs the sword, and then this part here, we filmed this on it, like the part with Julie inside the room, we filmed on a different day than this. And somehow we didn't have the keys to the house. Like whoever the person was that was letting us in there wasn't there that day. So we're like, oh shit, we can't show her leave the building. So we're like, okay, the best we could do is have her stand in front of the door and then march over.
Hey, there you are. Come give me a big hug. Whoa, hey now, easy with that. Yeah.
And so this part here, this church is right across the street from a daycare. And like we're filming and there's just like little kids like right across the street. And it wasn't like a big street. Like they were like, you could throw a rock at them and hit them. Like they were that close. And so we're like, okay, so we had, we put all our vehicles there and stuff to like block what was happening so they couldn't see. But we're like, well, Julie's supposed to yell this very vulgar thing here, but we can't do that because these kids are outside. So Julie ended up just like whisper yelling the line so no one could hear. And then later on, and when we were at some other location and had privacy, then she actually yelled it, and then we used that audio.
Get back here, you bitch! I'm gonna slice you open and bathe in your fucking guts!
And there we have the the Jones family that just happened to be standing there. So yeah, I think this was the daycare right here. You can tell they got some like children's playthings there.
Oh, hi there, Joneses. I was just practicing a skit that we're going to perform next week at church. It's about violence in movies. Oh, don't worry about him. He'll be fine. If you'll excuse me, I have some business to take care of. Where are you, you psychopath? You can't hide from me. We have police in our congregation, and they'll find you.
So yeah, Julie and Elizabeth had been working on this sword fight for quite a while. I think they were working with a professional fight choreographer, but when it came to like the fist fight, the hand-to-hand after they dropped their swords, we went to Julie's in her backyard and just staged it there, kind of like we did with the first one. I think we did a pretty good job without using like professionals, because we kind of wanted it to like be more funny than like a really good-looking fight. So we just made up our own sequence of moves that would be funny and then practice them ourselves. And both actors had like training in like stage fighting and stuff, so they kind of knew what they were doing. But I kind of just like doing those kind of things ourselves.
They'll deliver you to my doorstep with a bow wrapped around your pretty little head.
You're not the only one with a sword, Veronica.
Yeah, but I've been practicing.
Don't think that matters. We all know who's gonna win this
Wow, you have been practicing.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ!
Scared, Mildred?
I mean, yeah, a little.
Good. Fine. I'll beat you to death with my bare hands. It's more fun that way. Are you fucking kidding me? My tit?
So yeah, in the first movie, obviously they kick each other in the crotch, so we kind of just continued that. Although I'm not sure what we're going to do for part 3.
Yeah. Doesn't feel good, does it?
And I remember this part later on when we see Julie tied up out back, we're like, oh shit, was she bleeding out of her left or right nostril? So I can't remember if we got it right or not. I guess we'll find out.
It's 2-0 for Mildred. Come on, Veronica. Let's go for a little ride.
And she said 2-0 as in that she beat Blanche in a fist fight in the first movie. And here we got Cornelius just doing more useless work around the office.
Cornelius, this is God. You have been bad. Come to the sanctuary.
So yeah, that was while we were on set. It was me reading, doing that voiceover, and then we added Mildred's voice in later.
To receive your final judgment.
Someone's getting their ass fired.
And she hits him with a frying pan here. Some people were unable to see what it was, but it's a really big frying pan. But I guess it happened so quickly that it's hard to see what she uses.
It wasn't God, but someone much better.
Mildred Moyer.
I know.
So yeah, this part here, I guess the church drew the line at letting us fake crucify someone. In the script, it was going to be at like the front of the main area of the church, up by the pulpit. She was going to crucify him there and then like pull on a chain and like raise him up. But that ended up being too hard to do, so we had to shoot it at a different location. So we ended up shooting it at the goat location where we shot all that other stuff. I think it was one of the first things we did while we were out there after the goat. And instead of raising it up with chains, we just had her use a rope to like drag it up against a tree. And I got in trouble for on Facebook. I put up behind the scenes picture from this scene where he's got the ball gag in, and apparently Facebook deemed that sexual, even though it's not sexual. So I got a warning, and they took the post down. So.
You know, not too many people get crucified these days. You should feel honored.
Yeah, so to make this move here, we just stuffed his sock. We had him take his socks off, and then we stuffed them with something. So he's not actually on the cross here. It's just empty feet. And then like one or two of us were just holding the end of the cross, and we just like dragged it a little bit at a time to make it look like it was as she was pulling on the rope. It would actually be cool to shoot a horror movie at this location. They had a lot of really cool stuff around. There was like I don't think you could see it here, but in the background they had, it looked like a Wicker Man kind of thing. They had some big wicker kind of guy in the middle of this field, and there was just all sorts of horror kind of looking things. I think they weren't made to be scary, but they could kind of like, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's like supposed to be for kids, but it could actually be used for horror. So that'd be pretty. Maybe one of these days we'll do that.
Fitting end for someone so terrible.
Yeah, the wicker. Maybe the tree's blocking it, but I'm pretty sure it was like around there somewhere.
Although I will look pretty foolish if you rise again in 3 days, but what are the chances of that?
And I think people are right. They're like, oh, it was a missed opportunity. She should have like whacked him in the knee with the hammer there, but I guess we didn't think of that at the time. So yeah, that's just water, obviously, and we just put down a bunch of towels and stuff. So we didn't. I mean, it would have evaporated, but we didn't want to take advantage of the church and just make a mess of the place.
Bow to your new god, Mildred Moyer.
So yeah, we got this guy in the colorful costume that's very similar to that guy that Mildred was talking to in the first Grotesque movie. He also just looked like he was, lobotomized or something. So we don't explain like who they are, but obviously those guys are connected somehow. Maybe in the third movie we'll explain it, or maybe not.
Well, it's not much of a following, but it is a start. No, it can't be.
Here we got the return of Dr. Wash.
I've got to make it beautiful, Mildred.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wash. Hi, Dr. Wash. Remember me?
Mildred!
I wasn't really satisfied with your work. I'd ask for a refund, but I'll settle for this instead.
Yeah, Dr. Wash has had a rough year. Now they're back in the confessional booth.
Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. My life has been hell this past year. I've tried drinking the pain away. I've tried counseling. I've tried support groups. So now I'm trying religion.
Hi, Dr. Wash.
Mildred!
Don't turn to religion. It won't help.
Don't hurt me.
Oh, I won't hurt you. But it's not like I can do much more damage to you anyway. Am I right?
You know, it wasn't even me that cut off your nose.
It wasn't?
No, it was these two guys I owed money to.
Huh. And here I thought it was because of your gross negligence.
Yeah. No, they beat me up and cut off your nose.
Huh. So I probably shouldn't have cut your dick off then.
Yeah. That had crossed my mind.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm truly sorry, Dr. Wash. Is there anything I can do to make up for it?
Unless you're in the new penis business, probably
You know what? I know someone who might be able to help with that.
Really?
Yeah, she's a real angel. I'll give you her number. But first, you might want to get out of here. This place is about to burn.
I think we had to do that a bunch of times because the lighter wouldn't light.
Delmont and the Goon, boy, do I have a surprise for you. Ready?
And this is the same bike we used in the first movie, so she just magically has it again. That's such a dumb gag, but it's hilarious. It gets a laugh. It's like obviously it's ridiculous, but we actually filmed this at two different bowling alleys. Like the interior bowling alley where we filmed, the outside of it was just on this like storefront, so it didn't really look like a bowling alley. But we found the outside of this other bowling alley, so we filmed the outside at one place, inside another place, and we were assembling the skeleton and painting it in the parking lot, and then some old man that lived in an apartment building next door came over and was like demanding to know what we were doing, and he was kind of I think pissed off that we were doing something bad, but
good job.
And it's kind of funny that these two guys who were like brutal criminals, but they just seemed to do a lot of activities together. We saw them going roller skating, and now we see them going bowling together. We were going to have a scene of them going out for ice cream at some point, but for whatever reason, we ended up cutting that.
Where is my nose?
What?
My nose. Last summer, you cut off my nose.
Oh, hey. You talked to Wash's girlfriend. I don't know what happened to your nose. I threw it away. I think the dog got it.
That is very rude, you know.
What can I say? I'm not a nice guy.
See this? This was used on another person who crossed me. And what to do with you?
So yeah, this effect didn't quite work out the way I wanted, but again, we just had limited time and money. So yeah, I was just like, we didn't have anything of her cutting, and I was trying to figure out how to just use visual effects to do the beheading. So I was like, what if we just put up like like text on a screen that says a few minutes later? I'm like, is that like cheating too much? And Julie's like, nah, just do it. It'll be funny.
That was easier than I thought.
And we actually had like a fake head here. It didn't look good enough to actually show, because originally we were gonna like see her bowl with it, but we had to end up just doing it all off camera.
Damn, need more practice. Dr. Wash gave me this to help with my revenge. He sends his regards, by the way. There. Now all is right in the world. Hi, guys.
So originally we had a lot more extras there than you see, like the background people, and we filmed from another angle, and someone for whatever reason brought their baby, so we had Mildred walk out, and then she like stops and like tickles the baby or something, and is like, hi there, before walking out. But it just took so long for her to walk out that we cut it sooner. And she throws his nose away just like the bookie did to her in the first movie. So obviously in the first movie, this is how it happened. We saw Mildred walk past the kissing bears, and then she needed an operation. This angel doctor works magic to fix Mildred's nose, and then now she's gonna fix Dr. Wash's missing appendage.
Come on in. Let's take a look.
So the stuff we like facing the city skyline, we filmed that in one area, but this other stuff, especially the part where we have a gun, we didn't want to be waving even a fake gun around in public because someone would call the cops. It's happened before. So we filmed anything where you don't see the city was just filmed against some trees in Katrina's backyard.
What's next for Mildred Moyer? My bloodthirst is satiated for now, but when and where will I strike next?
I think your killing spree is over. Remember me?
Fucking bitch. Don't just stand there. Help me.
So kind of Mildred is getting her comeuppance now.
Uh-oh.
It was funny. I don't know how this mix-up occurred, but at some point in the day, Julie wasn't here while we were filming this part. But early in the day, she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way," this is how I remember it. Julie was like, "By the way, Mildred or Elizabeth said when you're burying her, she wants Jordy just to like throw a pile of dirt on her face." And I was like, "Oh, okay, if she wants to do that, sure." So we got Mildred to lay in this hole that we dug. And then we had this pile of dirt there, and I'm like, "Okay, Jordy, grab a shovel full of dirt and throw it on Elizabeth's face." And then she's like, "What?" She's like, "No, you're not gonna do that." And I was like, "I thought you, Julie, told me you wanted to have dirt thrown on your face." And she's like, "Why would I want dirt thrown on my face?" I'm like, "I don't know. That's what I was told." But now there's some mix-up that maybe I misheard that or something. But either way, that's funny. So we didn't throw it on her face. We just threw it on her body here. There we have our sound guy, David Gallinger. I just threw him in there because I wanted to make it look like, because like Elizabeth has Danger Dan and the Angel Doctor, like they have their own little network of good guys, and we don't know exactly what they do or to the extent of it, but basically they're kind of criminals, but they're like outlaws, but they're good outlaws, and they're doing whatever behind the scenes. We don't know what. And then we got him and Jordy, the undercover cop, the bad undercover cop. Who are kind of like the bad guys. And obviously they've had some run-ins with each other because we saw that Danger Dan shot Jordy here in the first movie. So we don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but somehow these guys are involved. So we just thought, and Dave looks cool with his bald head and his goatee. He looks kind of evil, so decided to throw him in the movie playing a character called Wyatt.
So, what now?
Karaoke?
Yeah, let's do it.
And obviously he was shot outside the karaoke bar in the first movie, so I guess they're big karaoke fans. So we got this shot here because I was trying to make people expect, like, oh, Mildred's, her hand's going to come out, or she's going to sit up, or something's going to happen that turns out she's okay, but no such luck. And I remember this is just someone Julie knew. We just needed the exterior of a fairly nice house. So Julie found this person and we're like, "Hey, we just get a shot outside your house," and they let us. The interior is a different location though. And here we get Dr. Wash's redemption.
Willie, what are you doing here?
So yeah, the pants. I want him just to rip them off. So we had this pair of pants, and costume department was trying to rig them up to have them rip off, but it didn't work. He would pull and they just like wouldn't come off. So he would like cut them even more, and then he'd try again. They still wouldn't come off. We tried a bunch of times. So finally we just basically cut the pants in half. So all it is like the back half, and then we taped the back half to Tom's legs here. So as you'll see coming up, it's like the front of his legs are bare, and then the back just has the pants taped to them. But he rips it away quickly, and if you look closely, you can actually see some like tape on it. That's because it's taped to his leg. But yeah, it's pretty quick. I think it's a good way to end the movie, and Dr. Wash ends up better than before. This song here, Crazy Dave and his band wrote this song specifically for the movie, and it's very catchy, so thanks to them for that. So this is a pretty big cast and crew. This is like the biggest I've ever had, and I think the biggest this team has had. We had a lot of people. If you just include all the extras and everything, like there was a lot. It was like 200 people that worked on this or something. Oh man, I didn't even realize I misspelled Undercover Cop. I don't think I did these credits though, so wow. I won't blame anyone. I've misspelled many things. I wonder if anyone else noticed that and they were just too nice to mention it. Faisal wanted his name spelled in all lowercase. I guess he likes to be special. We gave Quilton his own credit there. There was some debate. There was some people that wanted him to be named Quilliam, but I made the final call and named him Quilton. Yeah, this guy here, N.A. Mawadi, he was an extra. We met him because he just came that scene where Cindy's meeting the guys at the restaurant or whatever and trying to lure them to the church. He was just an extra there, and we met him. And when we ended up like shooting the scene, you couldn't actually see him in the shot, so he basically came out for nothing. So we're like, okay, well, we'll give you another part. So he ended up playing one of the guys in Crazy Dave's band. Okay, there's a list of all the guys that played the Johns there, so I guess our contest is off. You don't win a prize if you get them all. Yeah, we had Chris Hummel come out as our location sound guy, because I'd been working exclusively with David Gallinger as our sound guy for like quite a few years, like almost since I started. But there was a few days where, for whatever reason, he wasn't available, so we had Chris Hummel come out, and he was great to work with too. So yeah, our production assistants there were all actors in the movie, but everyone just did such a great job of helping out, like above and beyond what they were expected to do. So that's just so awesome, because in an indie movie like this, where we just have such little money and resources, it's nice that people just are willing to help out to get it made. Yeah, there was so many people that pitched in to get this movie made. Yeah, that guy Willie Dye, I think he's from Australia, and I looked him up. He's actually like a pretty accomplished like film director or something, and so I don't know how he found out about us, but thanks to him and thanks to everyone on here. All right, and that's the end of it. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. If you're still listening, I really appreciate everyone taking an interest in the movies that I do, and there's going to be more Mildred to come very, very soon. If it's not out already, it's not Grotesque 3, but we have a special Grotesque found footage movie coming out right away. So keep your eye out for that. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see everyone next time.